Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Leo, October 12, 2022. Insecurities can get the best of you at times early today, or you could feel a little off in your interactions. You could feel vulnerable or too open with Chiron in your sign opposite Venus. You might wonder how someone feels about you or how deep a commitment is. Try not to allow vague worries and doubts to hold you back, but it might be better to wait for a better day to make significant choices. As well, consider that if soft spots are triggered easily, this gives you the chance to take a closer look and discover ways to repair them. The moon moves into your resources sector later today, and you're ready to get down to business. Also today, Mercury moves back into your partnership sector. This transit began from August 25th to September 23rd, but then backed up. Now and in the weeks ahead, conversations that were left unfinished may resume, or information that eluded you last month can emerge. This can be an excellent time for opening the airwaves with a partner, significant other, or a good friend. People in your life can help you get in better touch with your ideas. Conversations with them jumpstart your thinking processes. Our cosmic messenger, mental Mercury, is once again entering your solar 7th house of marriage and commitment. In the weeks ahead, you'll notice an easier flow of communication between you and your one and only. This energy will also encourage you both to be more rational, diplomatic, and charming when it comes to your union. Now is an excellent period to make long-term plans together or even negotiate a long-term promise. Know that you can find accord even if things have been rocky. If single, look for people who have long-term potential and also entice your mind. Time to work through part 2 of the post-shadow period for Mercury retrograde. Today, Mercury finally re-enters your opposite sign, Libra, encouraging you to reconsider what came up in September. If you did feel unsure of existing partnerships and contracts or even new ones, then now is the time to reflect before making your final decision. Weigh your pros and cons once again. Do not be surprised if you feel remarkably calm during this time, since Mercury in Libra will make you feel rest assured, and it is time for you to make a rational decision about your arrangements. The moon makes a timely return to your income sector today, returning just before Mercury leaves your work sector, and there is a changing of the guard on the job front. Mercury's departure from your work sector will see any urgency dial back as the focus shifts to the journey itself. It is at this very moment that the moon returns to give you a better sense of where the money is. Feeling a little blocked lately, emotionally or physically? This might have something to do with a tense period you're going through, where things tend to get a little bottlenecked. Keep all channels open with plenty of water and fresh vegetables, and at least a few virtual yoga classes or whatever exercise releases your tension the best. Try to do this whenever you are subjected to a lot of stress, rather than putting it off until afterwards. You will be much happier. The hours coming up will be decisive, notably in your work life, where you should benefit from an opportunity for your career. Before getting your professional activity up and rolling, you will have to be a better listener and be more open. So, make some concessions and get rid of the little habits and preconceived ideas that you take with you systematically along your path. With a little more innovative spirit and imagination, you should be successful more easily. Just 18 days after retrograding back out of your relationship sector and back into your work sector, Mercury makes the reverse trip today. For the second time in 2 months, Mercury leaves your work sector, this time leaving you with a lot more hindsight to draw on, with a lot more water having passed under the bridge, and with the means to keep your head in the game and your feet on the ground. It is then that Mercury joins the Sun and Venus in your relationship sector, whereas the planet of communication, he is back to doing what he does best. Just 18 days after retrograding back out of your relationship sector, Mercury, the planet of communication, returns. This time Mercury is back in direct motion and ready for a do-over, this time with the solar spotlight on your relationships and Venus, the planet of love, working her magic. Where yesterday's full moon may have flushed out any issues, there is a chance now to give this a voice. Our eyes in the sky. This is an interesting day that brings some cosmic relief to personal frustrations. The influence of Venus in Libra opposes the prolific energy of the healing centaur Chiron, adding perspective to the overall power dynamic of your life. Think of this as a reset, requiring you to grin and bear it. A loving bond between parties can help you to move forward. This week is all about your relationships and making you a lot more talkative about what you need. You're setting out to get that now by making your goals known loud and clear. You're changing the people you hang out with, and they're changing you in a good way. You'll make more money if you take their advice instead of fight against it. Paying attention to your self-care routines and feeling more confident in your skin is what it's all about right now. Maybe you've been neglecting the things you really love to do because you're just trying to navigate through the twists and turns of life. Romance and fun can be part of the day as well. You'll feel increased vitality and confidence. The influence of Uranus adds a little icing on the cake, and someone might even profess their undying love to you. You might not want to deal with anyone who brings you down, and for good reason. Mercury enters fair and peaceful Libra today, so it's a good day to schedule some time to yourself or even a therapy session just to get everything out in the open. Talking things out will not only help you but also be a stepping stone to moving relationships in the right direction. It's time to think about how you might be taking other people's word for money matters or buying into an investment scheme that's too good to be true. Someone may be giving you a hard sell concerning a stock, IRA, or bond. You need more time to consider the best path for you. Be firm but polite, and make sure you get the time you need. You know best. In the morning, Venus in Libra opposes Chiron in Aries, prompting difficulties in navigating our relationships. Although we intend to keep the peace, we feel as though we fail to rise to others' expectations. This sense that we are not enough, that we are a disappointment, weighs on us heavily. What we are confronting now is the reality that relationships are a balancing act. There is no way to maintain perfect harmony at all times, yet the fear of failure can cause us to want to throw in the towel altogether. A more mature, adult idea of love is required. We become our own worst enemies and we hold ourselves and our partners to impossible standards. Shortly following this, the Aries moon squares off with Pluto in Capricorn, causing us to act destructively. We are struggling to negotiate the Venus-Chiron opposition. Insecurities within partnerships drive us to behave unfairly with loved ones. We may guilt-trip another or pose a test for them to prove their love. Obviously, these tactics are likely to backfire. On the other hand, we might be a victim of manipulation tactics ourselves. If this is the case, it is a good thing that this behavior is being exposed, so we do not waste further time on a toxic power dynamic. However, the moon begins its void of course following this aspect's perfection that will last until afternoon. Avoid taking action now, as decisions will be made in haste, under emotional duress. Give yourself time to cool off before saying or doing something you may regret.